Yeah, hello. Good afternoon to the next segment on my show, Gilly Gilly. I'm here today with Dr. Eno Agbor, who is advisor to Skakuf UK, but he's not coming today to advise Skakuf UK. Today, he is here to talk about everything education. Dr. Agbor is very passionate about anything education, and I'm glad to have him on the show today. I'll say welcome, Mr. Agbor. Mr. Eno.
Thank you, Gilly. Thank you for having me here. Okay. I'm most delighted to be here. And good evening to your listeners as well. It's a pleasure coming to talk to you.
Thank you very much. So today we'll be talking about education. Like everyone knows, education has been the greatest cornerstone in this our struggle for the freedom of Southern Cameroon. So today I have Dr. Eno to talk about everything education. I hope people can just sit back, relax, and enjoy it, because there is a lot of information that Dr. Eno can give today to tell us where we go from here. So I will start by, while the viewers are coming online, I would just want to ask Dr. Eno to tell us everything about, from the beginning. I went to school in Cameroon, and now in the past 4 months, I've learned a lot about everything Cameroon and the education, which is different from what I was taught in school. So I want him to just recap to us from the start up till now. What is it that was different about our education that we're really fighting to hold on to right now? Mr. End of the floor.
Sure. Thank you very much, Gilly. And to your listeners, regarding education in Southern Cameroon, I'm going to put it in a very precise manner so as not to label your listeners with unnecessary history. Before we joined La République de Cameroon, we inherited, or we had, an existing and highly successful functional British education system in Southern Cameroon that was producing graduates, students, that was fit for our various industries, from marketing board to CDC, etc., etc. Over the past of the since we joined La République du Cameroon, we have seen all these industries and the associated human capital depreciated down to the level of Okada boys. As far as our education is concerned, we are going through, it had been the single aspect of our struggle which has been used to annex Southern Cameroon. And this struggle and education is not just about fighting annexation, but being annexed backwards.
Okay.
If we were being annexed forward to something better, I could find some peace in that. But we are being annexed backward into a system which the mother country, France, has abandoned. So that is the cornerstone of what our protest and education is. We must reclaim our British education, which is what France has adopted since 1980. And since our first contact with La République, all we have faced has been an aggressive and persistent, well-coordinated, institutionalized process of destroying everything that is British education, Southern Cameroon. That is why we have 7 levels of human capital, from nursery school to university graduates. It does not matter how clever you are, except if you are from southern Cameroon, except you leave Cameroon, the best opportunity for you are to become an Okada boy. That is a bike rider. For us to regain our dignity as humans, we must reclaim our British education. And by British education, I mean British secondary general education and British technical education.
Okay.
So that is a cornerstone of what we must reclaim.
Okay. I think you've said it all, that education stands at the heart or at the core of this struggle. If we have to move this struggle to another level, education is intertwined, or it is overlapping in everything we do. If I want to ask you the question, if this our education is so good, like we've found out to be, why is it that for this long 56 years, people have sat quiet? We have educationists all over the world. We are one of the most educated people in Cameroon in general. Why has nobody ever said anything until now?
I have to commend Southern Cameroonians. We're blessed people. We are highly dignified. We are peaceful people, and that dignity and peaceful nature has been abused. For the past 56 years, from gentlemen like Dr. Fallon have been patiently bringing forward to the Francophone authorities of the discrimination against the British education. The persistent request for reform or to stop attempting to destroy our British education has met with indifference, inaction. Up to last February 2016, a group of highly intelligent educationists in Cameroon, led by Van Toko, Mr. Zongwara, Dr. F.R.A, highly intelligent men, wrote a memorandum to the Prime Minister in simple, plain English, explaining the deficiencies, discrimination, lack of opportunities, the attempt to destroy British education in southern Cameroon, the Francophonization, all of this made with indifference. So your question about why now is simply an explosion of a long series of peaceful requests for an attempt to destroy what constitutes a world-class education which is adopted across the world.
Okay.
So why now is simply we have had enough. That is why you hear Southern Cameroonians say enough is enough. Regarding education, reclaiming our education, it's not a matter of policy, what they have written. It's a matter of implementation.
Okay.
So the policy fails at the level of implementation. The policy fails at the level of process. The policy fails. In fact, I was asked by a British parliamentarian who said to me, "Oh, Cameroon is very bilingual, isn't it?" I said, "Of course, Cameroon is very bilingual on paper. But the reality is that everything is being Francophonized." Paul Biya, the head of state, for example, does not issue any document in English without French. It's exclusively French. So why now? There's only one answer. Enough is enough.
Okay, thank you. And I think enough is enough, like you said it. But when I go to Cameroon, I was someone that grew most part of my life in Boya. And in Boya, it was common for you to come around and see everybody speaks English. I have traveled to Europe and gone back to Cameroon and gone back to Boya. I was surprised at the level of French that is being spoken right now in Boya. And if I'm honest with you, Mr. Doctor, I went even to a bank, the Bisek Bank, which is opposite University of Boya, and I wanted to open a bank account. Everybody in there was speaking French. And that's when I knew that we have a problem. I'm going to take this question back to you. If this, our education is so good that everybody in the other side of the Mongol has found it to be this good that they now want all their children to English education, why then do they try to form our education or try to, I would say, sabotage it when they want it so desperately?
There is only one, yes. They are looking at annexing Southern Cameroon into a French colony. We have come across documents which was created, written by the French, from the French Cultural Center in 1961, where they took the view that Britain had not stayed in Southern Cameroon as long as they have stayed in Nigeria, in Lagos or Nairobi. So they should attempt to destroy everything. So that document, which I have a copy of, is that document that is guiding the Francophone government policy as far as, so this is the continuation of annexing Southern Cameroon, converting Southern Cameroon to a backward Francophone area. In fact, if we do not reclaim our education, in 5 years, Southern Cameroonians will be like Aborigines in Australia.
That is terrible. That is really terrible.
It is, yes. I have to tell every Southern Cameroonian listening to this that enough is enough. We must reclaim our education system. Those who have, for example, Ayijo cancelled technical education, City and Guilds technical education in Southern Cameroon. Now, for example, even those lawyers, common law lawyers who are protesting, their certificates are in French. You have Cameroon Bar, but when you graduate with a certificate in French. Cameroon is known in all international organizations as a Francophone country. So technically, we do not exist. Reclaim our education is central and key. And to tell to you about the attempt to destroy Southern Cameroon, in the English language, for example, today modern graduates from Southern Cameroon cannot even construct a good sentence in English. They've come to the English language, they cancelled grammar. They cancelled spelling. The consequence is that even when the students manage to graduate, they're economically useless. So now they start introducing Francophone teachers in nursery school. In 5 years, those children will graduate from primary school unable to speak English, unable to speak French. They cannot spell in English. They cannot write in French either. In Manu division, for example, where they require something like 70 Francophone teachers or 100 Francophone teachers, La République has given 5. So less than 5%. So even if you wanted to convert them to be Francophones, they're not even providing the Francophone teachers in the first case. So they are destroying what is British and not replacing it even with the Francophone education which they want to Francophonize us. So this is why any reasonable, rational person will see that in 5 years or 6 years, we'll be like Aborigines, where we'll become unemployable. When the companies come, all the European companies, world companies come, they cannot employ us. We cannot speak English. We cannot speak French either.
Oh my God.
So this is a very serious issue which every Southern Cameroonian has to take at heart, that we must reclaim our British education system. That means British general education and British technical education, which is world-class, well-approved, give you access to all universities, including universities in France.
Mm-hmm. And then talking about this, I think something came on my mind. The issue of the British English language in Cameroon. And I want to talk about the issue of if you want to go to university in Cameroon, being from the Anglophone region.
Absolutely.
That we have to pass English grade C to be enrolled into the universities. And then the Francophones don't have to do it. But then we have been speaking English all our lives.
This is a covert attempt at annexing our country. It's simply a covert political attempt which is manifesting itself to flood our country with Francophones everywhere. Francophone, that's why you have the French Cultural Center in the middle of Boya University. All of these have to be reversed. Students, yes, it is, as von Mukete rightly put it last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. They should create an equivalent structure where everybody passes GC levels in English. And any Francophone in Boya University, has to pass the same, but it was not designed for harmonization. It was designed for annexation. So the idea of British Cameroonians passing O-level English and Francophone just practically walking in, is simply another avenue of annexing Southern Cameroon.
Oh my God.
This has been a very carefully planned act of genocide, similar to Rwanda. The only difference is that the population has not been given machetes or guns. That's the only difference. But it has been pervasive, carefully planned and executed.
Okay, so moving forward to present day Southern Cameroon, we've been fighting clearly. We stamp our foot on the ground and out. What is it that we are doing to change all this? I just want you to outline. I know there's a lot of things you've been working on the background to make sure that you don't go back to this annexation, or we're not taking over the other side. We're not giving due credit for what they owe us. What have you and the group behind SCACUF doing to make sure that we have an education that represents us, Southern Cameroonians?
Yes, as Southern Cameroonians and as an advisor to SCACUF UK, we have made direct contact on education and technical education. We have made direct contact with British education authorities.
Yeah.
They have now put us in contact, so we are now active in the process of establishing a Southern Cameroon independent education management system that will move us aggressively from the 21st to the 22nd century.
Okay.
We will, for example, be looking at digitizing our education.
Okay.
We will be bringing in an enterprise resource management system. As you may have seen, SCACUF has also formed a Southern Communication Board. I want you to be quite clear. This board would be the custodian of Southern Cameroon education. We are now actively setting up a Southern Cameroon Education Inspectorate to ensure that the British education and curriculum we are going to adopt from Oxford and Cambridge. So to you people listening, we are going to propose to the Southern Cameroon Education Board and the Southern Cameroon leaders to adopt the Oxford and Cambridge education curriculum for general education. It will cover all the subjects as we know it. Okay. And we will also be looking to promote e-books, so parents will not have to be buying books, textbooks.
Okay.
This is really important because it's not just education, it's finance, it's economics. For these past months we have been we have exploded. Parents have not been earning money. Mm-hmm. Parents are no machines. We need to find a way to make sure that the cost of education to these parents aggressively come down.
Fantastic. So
when we say schools should not resume, we are not being some weak-hearted person of school should not resume. You cannot keep people uneducated. But if you are going to educate people and at the end of that education they become Okada boys. By Okada boys, I mean bike riders. That's in 5 years' time, Southern Cameroon will be finished. So this struggle is a struggle for survival. On technical education, we will be reintroducing city and guilds, technical education. On this, for example, I made contact with city and guilds, technical education, and they informed me that Cameroon is a francophone country. They do not serve Cameroon. And I talked to them over a period of about a week. Thank God they reversed that decision.
Fantastic.
So they have now given their consent that they are going to come back to Cameroon with us. So we will be looking to reactivate schools like Ombe.
Correct.
We have also defined areas of our priority. They include construction, building services, oil and gas, materials, healthcare, IT, information management, accountancy. All of these technical subjects will be backed up by online training.
Fantastic.
So something like Economa will be looking to write it out of our value chain. We will be producing candidates fit for our economy. A few days ago, you must have seen Milan, the Secretary of State. He gave out a very excellent, elaborate plan of, our, plans, economic strategy, roadmap, etc., etc. We will be producing the students to fit into this. We will not be producing students to drive Okada.
Okay.
We have 7 layers of human capital. These 7 layers of human capital are underemployed. If you're an Southern Cameroonian, and by some magic you go to IRIC or to Economa, or any of those francophone schools, you graduate, your friends are posted into jobs. You stay on the ground. We call those ones unemployed professionals. We will provide them opportunity to retrain.
Okay.
Then we have acts of graduates. We would also provide them opportunities to retrain. The retraining feed our economy. Then we have graduates. We will be selling education to make money. Those francophones who are working in, they want to work in, they will write GC and pay foreigner fees. You cannot be clever and not from your cleverness. sell your cleverness to other people who want to buy it. Already we have a big market in Nigeria, 200 million people. We cannot serve them. So as far as education is concerned, we will, in summary, we'll be restoring our British education. The curriculum, the strategy, the roadmap is already there for everybody to see. The SCACUF Education Board will be there as the global custodian.
Okay.
It's a group of highly intelligent, highly experienced professionals, and they will be there like the arbitrator of the quality assurance. Then at the end of this month, before the end of this month, we would have completed the process of establishing the Educational Inspectorate.
Okay.
They will work with the head teachers or principals to make sure the quality assurance is kept. Students will be able to study online, access their textbooks, do their homework, same as teachers. Everybody will have all these facilities.
Okay.
So the delay in prescribing a date is because we have not given that piece of software, SCACUF Education Board, which every school in Southern Cameroon will register. Will have a unique identifier. Every student, right down to the villages in Eshimbi, including Bakassi, no school will be without a Southern Cameroon Education Board matriculation number.
Okay.
Now, with our children coming out of school, they will have qualification. They can work in any country in the world because the Francophonization attempt will fail.
Okay.
We will no longer be subjecting ourselves to repeated attempt of asking what is rightfully ours and have to beg for it. So enough is enough.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that is a lot that you guys are doing in the background. It sounds fantastic to me. But if I wanted you to talk to the people on the ground, like those who've been telling them not to go to school, that if you sacrifice 2 years is worth more than, what would you say to them to keep the hope going, to make them know that the future is brighter than the present?
Well, I have to tell them this. We have been very blessed. The first is that we'll be lowering the cost of education. Education provides opportunities, but not in the case of Southern Cameroon. Imagine you're a young lady in a small village in Akwaya or in Fontaine or in Tombe or in the back of Bakassi. You suffer when you are a child, the best they can do is Okada boy. We are going to change all that. So the sacrifice is worth it because it's going to serve 100 years after we are long dead. We will leave our education system to be permanently pegged to the British education system, so that if Oxford and Cambridge are having an annual seminar, we will come there and participate. If they are going to modify that curriculum, we will make our contribution there. We will no longer make it to La République. And this is what the Southern Cameroon Education Board, as the global custodian of the Southern Cameroon, will be doing. They are highly experienced people. They are very good teachers. And I'm sure that once we give them a solution that is forward-looking to the parents, suddenly education is taboo. You can monitor the progress of your own child from your phone.
Okay.
The question of saying, oh, how did you do in maths? It's in the past. You just take your phone, you see your child lost online, yourself on your own phone. So we are going to, so the sacrifice is worth it.
Okay.
I have settled, this is so important to everybody listening. This is important that without education, no country is worth its salt.
Okay.
And for us as Southern Cameroonians, we are blessed with exceptional talent. Without La République, Southern Cameroon would have been Cape Town today. So we have a lot of catch-up to do.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are thinking that we are sacrificing, no, we are not sacrificing, we are investing.
Okay.
So for all those parents, I have to say to them that you are investing. That child, all your children, when today the only opportunity is for to do general education. But some of them are better carpenters. But some of them are better footballers. There were opportunities. We are going to create that. If, for example, the Southern Cameroon per capita income will more than quadruple per individual, the opportunities are there. It's only for us to take it. And there is no easier way for us to take it. If La République wants us to study, we are only going to study what we want to study. They cannot force us to study what we don't want to study. And we are going to pure British education. We will also look to sort British support.
Okay.
To come and support an aggressive expansion of restoration of this education system. We hope La République, while they are the temporal custodian of our sovereignty, do not get because to all parents, our education is key. We are not going to be following any other country. Now, our dream and our plans are that with this system, the University of Bamenda and the University of Boya will be given commercial targets that within 5 years, they should be able to put satellite into space.
Yeah.
I have started talking to those that, to a few months, last month, one Ghanaian university put satellite into space. Then Bamenda University cannot put that satellite into space, except this flooding of poor education policy invading Southern Cameroon. So this opportunity, we will, personally, I have brought engineers from India to work for me. The cost of it cost me bringing 10 engineers from India to work for me. I could have 1 year worth of graduates from Boya University. With the Francophonization attempt in our country. A few months ago, last year, May, I sent my staff to look at to Yoke. It was blocked. My staff were told that that project has been allocated to a group of investors. It is not available. We are going to stop all this, yet we have young men who could train as electricians. We have and be servicing, making life comfortable for everybody. Yoke can provide us an export of energy to Nigeria, to Bonaberi. So the opportunity, so to those parents, I'm going to say to them that you are investing.
Okay.
Education can come anytime. But it is your mental capacity that matters. So let your child not miss school for 12 months like that. But if you are investing to make sure that child has a better future, that educational gap can be breached very easily.
Okay.
So let no parents sit there and worry that, oh, my child is not going to school. Okay, you put that child to school after 14 years, the child comes and is doing Okada. As opposed to, and we have a digital education system where you are able to monitor your children from nursery school on, instead of you buying them textbooks become a matter of the past. We will only adopt a subject if that subject is going to provide all its learning material in digital format. In that digital format, you can access it from anywhere. School is a tool, it's not a punishment. we are going to enable our people to look forward, to be able to compete with the Japanese, Singapore. Not sit and be wasting time on people whom I call losers. If people want to lose, let them lose. But we have no interest in losing. We inherited British education. We want to keep it back and use it to grow our economy and develop our people.
Whew, Dr. Eno, that is good. That is good. I'm loving everything I'm hearing. But if I wanted to talk about, for you to just touch on the part that I think is very important in this debate, when we say our education in Cameroon or Southern Cameroon in particular, it is not purpose. And if I say it is not, I'm talking like someone who never went to university in Cameroon. I did my tertiary education right to my master's in Europe. So I'm talking from someone trained abroad. And having done secondary school in Cameroon and comparing the two, I just realized that we're learning things that was not necessary. If I quote you example, road map, we're doing road map reading. Why do you need map reading from Moliko to Boyatown? It's one long road. Why do I need map reading? So I rather use that map reading when I came to London. And I realized that this map reading I was taught in Cameroon was useful somewhere else. That is why I say our education is not fit for purpose. What would you tell us about the education system? How deep is it? How beneficial it is for the people in Cameroon, all the things they learn? Do you think half of it is even relevant?
Yeah, the line was breaking a bit, so I may or may not have grasped the question completely. But if I assume you said, is our education system fit for purpose?
Right.
I would say that the simple answer is no. It's not fit for purpose. And I say that from the point of view that in the past few months, I have painfully and patiently been talking to a lot of Southern Cameroon education experts on the ground. I have to confess to you, they're exceptionally intelligent people. I always have to be prepared when I talk to them. But the other thing I also gained was an enormous amount of untapped resource, which is bringing an incredible level of frustration. And this is why those gentlemen have been endlessly and patiently making quiet requests endlessly to La République government for small, minute, almost mandatory. No government should deprive its people of that. So I have to say to you that there is no room for reform. There's only room. And we are in the process of ensuring that replacement is deliverable at the point of need. We are not going to allow the frustration, the sadness of our forefathers, our senior brothers who have been largely underemployed. The best positions have always been top assistant deputy manager. No, that will simply stop. We have a right to education. The education we had was a British education which served us as Southern Cameroonians. And that is what we will be looking to restore. When you talk to most Southern Cameroonians, you will hear them refer to nostalgic days of Ombe. how they could do this. At this stage, without La République, Ombe should have produced at least between 10 and 15,000 interns. People like Kilo, people like Nanga, people at Tabong Enterprises, all these highly intelligent, ambitious gentlemen were not able to gain access to succession planning because of that destructive act on our education system. And through that education, it has been used as a tool for our annihilation. So the issue we are facing here to all those parents is we are fighting eradication. And if our education system is completely eradicated, which has gone into the low codes, into the nursery schools, we are finished as a nation. And that will not happen while some of us are alive.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you, in all of these that you've been doing to promote our education system, move us from the hands of colonialism, what are the challenges you face, both home and abroad?
Yes. Home, I have to give credit to Southern Cameroonians that some have been calling me anonymously and giving me information which I am forever grateful, because that has enabled me to try and understand how to put this deal together.
Okay.
I'm an investment banker. I'm in the business of getting things done. I get experts together, they execute, and things are done.
Okay.
Myself, I don't do anything. The challenges I have faced have been people. Yes, there are future challenges like how is this going to be financed, etc., etc. And we will cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
We will cross that bridge when we get there. Already, we have a lot of human capital which will bring down our cost of delivery. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that can cover a significant portion of our financial resource requirement. The key issue for us is to ensure that we are able to educate everybody to see that we are investing for the future. And this investment for the future, it covers all strands of life, both Catholic, Muslim schools, any faith is faith independent.
Okay.
But we will be producing a system that will stimulate the creativity of our people. What you have seen in the past 56 years have been largely people whose creativity have been held back. Through our re-established education system, that creativity will be reactivated. If a child grows up being an artist, we will find an economic system that will enable them to produce and earn a decent living and export. 2 weeks ago, I was invited to join the World Trade Forum, which is a group of senior investment bankers who are encouraged to bring along, nominate countries that will be supported to grow their exports.
Okay.
One of the countries that came very top of mind, I can tell you, was Rwanda.
Okay.
A lot of the ministers there, I have to confess to you, they're exceptionally intelligent. Southern Cameroon fit that mold.
I'm happy to hear that.
We will be promoting exports. We will not be having, here in Britain, we have people who are creative, We have people who have abilities outside of writing just essays. We'll be promoting export. And this is what we have in mind. When we are successful, we can share with anybody. La République, they are our brothers, but we will be successful first.
Good.
So let nobody in La République be worried that when we are, but we will be successful first on our terms. Then we can share. See, you cannot eat all that you produce.
So if I wanted to ask you this tough question, timeline. I think everyone wants to know timeline. When is this going to be rolled out? When should people expect to see it in practice? People like Cameroon who are under this crazy system and facing every day, when should they start seeing this happening?
We will, yes, we will. The first point of demonstrating our independence, of restoring our education, is to ensure that no school starts on the 1st of September.
Okay.
We will be progressively updating people on Southern Cameroon Broadcasting Corporation.
Okay.
We will accept that we will make mistakes, but we will also provide a framework and contribute.
Okay.
So let nobody sit there and worry that, oh, these big guys are going to do this and do. No. Opportunities will be there to stimulate your creativity. A few years ago, if you I went to Kumba, you will see how somebody put some wood together and is trying to do something mechanical. And all they'll be looking for is somebody to support them. We'll be launching Southern Cameroon Venture Capital Fund that will go out hunting for these opportunities.
Okay.
Yes. Southern Cameroonians will be given targets. Parents will be given targets. So it will not be a question of how is this going to be rolled out. We'll be progressively. We'll say, okay, my reasonable expectation is that the day Southern Cameroonians are going to start their education will be different from when La République starts their education. But we will provide all this to SCACUF, who are the legal representative of Southern Cameroonians to make decisions. Advisors advise, leaders decide.
Okay.
So we will progressively provide the information. We will also advise SCACUF. We are always there to advise. They will decide. They will decide and say, okay, this is the day when we like that school should start. They have the legitimate authority to do that. The authority we have is to make sure that our people don't suffer. It doesn't matter who is leader or no leader. And this is where the education framework is coming from. It does not depend on me, does not depend on you, depend on making sure that we are not there, the system pilots itself.
Okay.
Yeah, the British education system is a proven system. As a consumer of this service, we will now be looking to contribute to its development going forward. So that on the Oxford and Cambridge curriculum, members of the Southern Cameroon Education Board will be expected to attend.
Okay.
If policy to be drifted, that policy, they will say, oh, that doesn't serve us well. So this is where we are coming from. And if to all Southern Cameroonians who are there, we really encourage cooperation. We really encourage cooperation, especially those professionals who are underemployed, who think that they have a contribution to make. SCACUF is there, SCACUF Education Board is there. It's an inclusive board. It looks to bring people together, and that's what we want to do. It's about bringing people together. These things I'm saying, before coming to say, I've studied with a lot of my brothers and sisters to ensure that it's not a one-man view. So to all those who have made contributions to me, who have sent me information, I want to say thank you. And to those who have not and who are looking forward to, you are welcome. But we will be progressively providing advice and information. Today, we have an enterprise resource management system for education.
Okay.
What that means is that if you are a principal, you can manage all your students. If you are what they call chief operating officer, so we are not going to have discipline master, we are going to have chief operating officer, who is going to not just look at discipline, but look at the finance, operations, strategy as well for that school, on how they optimize that enterprise resource management system to make sure that they are top of the league table. If a HR will manage a school, whether it's in a small village, they provide it to the Southern Cameroon Education Inspectorate. They provide it to Skakuf Education Board. The Skakuf Education Board will give their tick or mark down. Schools that mark up, schools that mark down, there will be competition. So let nobody think that we are looking to create people lazy around. No, our Anglo-Saxon system is that of enterprise and excellence. Not fraud, not bribe. We don't do things like that. I want our system to be the best in the world. We can compete with people from Singapore. We can compete with Rwanda. We can compete with Finland. We can yes, I am in London. I am not here begging. I'm competing. So this is what we have in mind for Southern Cameroon.
Okay, this show will slowly become. I think we have the last 7 minutes left. I'm going to ask you, I don't want us to go without talking about this issue of government schools and private schools in Cameroon. How you can see the clear difference in terms of education and training. Because if I say this, you say those who went to boarding schools came out much, much better than children that went to governments. How is it that we are going to bridge this gap between these two in our school curriculum or in our
very straightforward. Today, Republic is the 10 of what they call government school. These are Southern Cameroon assets.
Okay.
If a school does not get itself recognized by SCACUF, the Southern Cameroon Education Board, parents should not send their children to the school.
Okay.
Schools will be given an identification which will show that those schools have been recognized by the Southern Cameroon Education Board.
Okay.
Those schools will also receive Southern Cameroon Educational Inspectorates. If a school, whether it is administered by La République or administered by Catholics or administered by a private individual, is not recognized by this education board, don't send your child to that school.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eno. I think you've said a lot, and I think people probably would need time to absorb it and probably ask questions. If you wanted to direct your questions, please, Dr. Eno, do you have a Facebook page? Do you have anywhere people can write to you? Or if someone wanted to contribute to improving our school curriculum, where could they write to?
That is, yes, on curriculum for today, I would suggest that contribution should be at the level of implementation, not at the level of curriculum.
Okay.
Because we are going to take the curriculum on the shelf from Oxford and Cambridge.
Okay. Okay.
That enables you to walk to Yale, walk to Imperial College, walk to college in the world, including La Sorbonne. So on curriculum, curriculum that is on the shelf.
Okay.
But on implementation, this is where the contribution will come in. There are 3 levels of educational delivery. You have policy, process, and implementation. What the Francophones have done, they have merged policy and some aspects of process and created what they call pedagogy. We're going to break that. We are going to have curriculum on policy. We are taking it from the shelf, Oxford International Standard. Process is how we are going to roll it out.
Okay.
This is where the enterprise resource management system comes in. We are active in the process of bringing in a procurement system. We are then able to know how resources are managed.
Yeah.
So when a school takes, say, okay, we are now registered and recognized by the Southern Cameroon Education Board, that school will have an ID. That ID can be spread to students as well. Students will all have their own ID. Then every school will have a local area network.
Okay.
With that local area network, it's like dormitory. It is only inside the school campus that the network works. So when the school takes the curriculum, they will have all the books. An issue of books flying left, right, center. We also need to roll out a network of libraries. So for example, let's say we have 8 million people. We need to set a clear target to be able to have one library to serve, say, 100,000 people.
Okay.
So in this format, where we are rolling out books, we can also have what we call hotspot physical books.
Okay.
These hotspots will enable, sometimes you may want to touch a book. You go to the library, you may even have the one book, you return it. If the book is missing, your ID will show it at the level of your school.
Nope.
So we are, in summary, we are moving from an analog to a digital age. And if anybody thinks that this can be done overnight, no, it cannot be done overnight. But we are going to roll it out in a format that if SCACUF approves it, then people will be brought in. One, so if the school does not want to function, don't send your children there. Send them to a school where things are modern, things are, they don't need to work in Cameroon, they don't even need to work in Southern Cameroon. And if they go somewhere, a lot of our people, they want a reference, you just give your employer check and certificate online. You don't even need to be working with certificate anymore.
That's fantastic. I think if I just recap from everything I've heard from you, you say certificates, we don't carry files everywhere. We'll be moving from analog to digital. And we'll no longer have this prerequisite of having C grade in English to go to university anymore. We already have the school curriculum. We're at the place of implementation. And the final question I would just ask you, please, if you're allowed to give dates, when do we expect school to start if we have our freedom today?
Yeah, the simple answer to expectation. So this is my own personal view. My own personal schools, we should be able to provide the system completely, and we'll also run a small test pilot scheme.
Okay. So when do we expect if I
that by
home?
The reasonable expectation should be no more than January.
No more than January. Okay, thank you very much. It was fantastic having you on the show. You have a great day today.
Thank you.
And
thank you all for listening.
Yes, and this was Gilly Gilly. You have a great Sunday, and I hope to meet everyone next week. Thank you. Same time, same place. Bye.
Joe Tam, Ayuk Ote Ayuk, Fonyu Terence, Tangen Thomas, Fabiano Deco, Angwan Benson, Tabe Edward, Kisop Berton, Kechawa Silva, Kuala Malvan.
Just please look at our condition of detention in this bunker. This is the worst bunker you can imagine. With an asbestos pen that will surely give us cancer in less than 6 months. There's no window. Just look at the terrible condition. No light, no water. In fact, if you look at our toilet, you pity us. Just imagine the condition the Republic government is putting us, Southern Cameroonians. It's terrible. Really look at that one and where we have to ease ourselves. Even animals have more better life.
On today's show, we'll be having a topic that I find most interesting, that I can be able to throw some light to. And that topic is find